Hey guys, this is a Healing Pally Rogue team. Our strategy, of course, will be to find the rogue and hit him, dump CC on the paladin. This is, of course, because if my rogue decided to open on the paladin, their rogue could open on my rogue, and then my rogue has effectively done nothing but given their rogue the opener. So right out the gate, as soon as my rogue gets his sap off, I'll be moving up to these boxes, and the reason I'm going to these boxes is that if the rogue decides to open on me behind the boxes, he'll be out of line of sight of his paladin, which is a fairly important advantage for my part. As soon as the sap fades off, the paladin realizes that my rogue can't open on him, so he begins to bully me. He throws on my debuffs there and comes up and takes out my totems. My rogue finds their rogue and he begins to open on him. I immediately go to hex the paladin. The paladin trinketed, threw out a bop. I countered the bop with a frost shock, and that's game. So this is the same team, different map, same comps. My rogue is searching for their rogue. There he finds him. He opens. I immediately run out and hex. And pop my bloodlust as we're in a winning position there, keeping pressure on them. Right there I immediately take the bop right away. My rogue goes for a switch to the paladin because the rogue had become bopped. What that was good for both of our parts, but sort of a lack of teamwork. I continue to bomb heals my rogue there. You notice I laid a grounding totem as soon as my rogue had hit 50%. This is out of the fear that the paladin could run over and hit me with a hammer. He's playing quite cautiously there. I begin to shoot bolts here at this rogue to keep pressure on him. There's the blind on the paladin, and that's game. My hex will be up in 7 seconds or so. This rogue has to live without his paladin for 15 or so seconds, and he just simply can't do it. So this is the same team, different map. They're going to use the hit me strategy. The rogue opens up on me with everything he has. He does a lot of damage to me immediately. I counter with my nature swiftness, and I do my best to get away from them here. My rogue is, of course, trying to cover me, try to peel that rogue off of me. Now, there is one huge mistake I make here in retrospect that made this game run a little bit longer than it should have. And that mistake is I'm running away from the rogue, as I should be, but I'm running in a sort of an arbitrary direction. I'm not running towards anything. Now, if I had been running behind a pole or running away from the paladin as much as I could, it would have come down to a point where the paladin simply wasn't able to heal his rogue enough to keep him alive. And that would have either effectively peeled the rogue off me or killed the rogue. But I'm sort of running in an arbitrary direction, no real aim with where I'm going here. Now, of course, my mana's not doing very well, but that's okay because we're a cooldown-based team. We live and die by our hex cooldown. So long as I'm able to live as long as it takes for the next hex to come back up, we should be okay. Drinking, of course. The paladin comes up to try to stop me from drinking, but stops short when he realizes that his rogue is in trouble. Right there I throw my earth shield on my rogue, and of course the second I do, the rogue decides to come over and hit me. Good chunk of mana wasted there, but oh well. I think it was a good move. It just didn't work out for me. So my hex is coming right back up here, and I'm going to immediately try to drop my hex on the pally, keep as many hexes going out as possible on that paladin. And it goes off just before his holy light does. He trinkets it, and I get my ass out of there, try to keep as far away from that rogue as possible. So, their rogue ends up hitting my rogue because that's the only target that's available to him. This is oddly reminiscent of the old warrior on warrior days. I move up to maintain line of sight of my rogue there. I get a little bit too close, and as a result I'm forced to pump heals on my rogue while simultaneously their rogue is creeping towards me. So their rogue does reconnect on me there. Pretty terrible, but we don't pay for it because my trinket happens to be back up. So I'm making my escape, and I happen to get away. Right here my rogue is beating the hell out of their rogue. It's at 40%, 30%, so their paladin is unable to chase me, and as a result of that, I'm able to drink. And just that 20% mana I was able to drink there in that brief moment gives me not only enough mana to keep D's alive here, but enough mana to get off one final hex, and this should be game. because that paladin has no way of breaking that hex. So, quick review of that game. Basically, what we did is we forced it into another rogue-on-rogue battle. As soon as I escaped that rogue, we forced it into a rogue-on-rogue battle, which is exactly like it was in the first 2 games, and we just have to play it exactly like we did from then on out. Just keep on dropping our crowd controls as much as we can on that paladin, and sooner or later, we will win. Now, in order to get away from the enemy rogue, you of course have timely stuns and disarms and so on, but the best method, which I didn't illustrate here, but I did mention earlier, is to simply run that rogue behind a line of sight away from his paladin. Because if you're behind a line of sight and that paladin is lagging behind and my rogue is hitting their rogue, what's going to happen is their rogue is going to get real low on health real fast, and he's going to realize if I stand back here, I'm going to die, and he's going to run away or he's going to die. 9 out of 10 times, if they're half intelligent at all, they'll simply run away. And that is one hell of a fast way to peel a rogue off of you. Probably the best way to peel a rogue off of you. Anyway, hope you picked up something.